time to strap in and get ready.
The leaders in NRL SuperCoach are incoming. Bringing you the ultimate insight to help you win your leagues and climb up the rankings.
You're now listening to the Insight NRL Show with your hosts, Brain, Mattrix, and Whisperer.
G'day, guys. Josh has the intro. Terrible audio content because we can't hear a thing, but I'm assuming it's the Queensland song.
Can you not hear anything?
Barely.
It was the yaya yippee yippee yaya. We can go again if you really want to. We can go again.
We can just sing it. It's fine.
Yeah, yippee yippee yaya. Sing it, yaya yippee
Yippee yippee yay!
yippee yippee yaya.
Woo!
Thank fuck that's over. Was there Origin on last night? I actually didn't know there was Origin. Yeah,
Mate, I told you to jump on 2K. You just said that.
I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch the game and then get really depressed about the result. That's what I wanted. We're not going to talk about Origin tonight. That's for sure. No, we should do a recap, shouldn't we? First of all, guys, welcome. We are live, of course, so get involved in the chat, of course. But guys, Origin last night. Let's touch on it. Let's talk about it. Obviously, there's going to be implications that come from it in the world of SuperCoach, but I'm podcasting with two Queenslanders, so there's no way I can get away with just flying under the radar and not talking about it at all. You guys have your brag. Go for it.
Oh, you could. You just don't get it. I think you're going to hear that 100 times tonight.
Already heard it 100 times.
Yeah. Unbelievable completion rate.
If they have to ask what it is, and they just don't get. You don't need to ask what it is to understand it.
Yeah. It's the milk on your cornflakes. It's the butter on your bread.
The shot glass of
it
milk.
When you get up every morning, it's that crack of a beer. Wait, what? It's it.
Okay, good to know what it is.
I think it was just completion rate. Like, when you go through a high intensity game like that, I think the ball was in play for 8 minutes at the end of the first half, and you haven't dropped it once. You're just turning the team over. It's just tough. So, yeah, the boys played really well. And
credit to the boys.
Flashback to February. Imagine I told you that Garrett Shibasaki would be lifting a Queensland Origin shield.
And Robert Toya. How good.
It's basically my SuperCoach team in round one.
Up the Blues. No, mate. Yeah, it's good. Obviously, good win.
Blues were pretty ordinary as well. I think you guys ran us off the park completion rate. Josh has hit the nail on the head. I think we played, and I said it in the chat, I think we played too laterally as well. Like, there just wasn't anyone playing direct and hitting the line, squaring the line up at all. It just felt like we were trying to run around you all night.
My big thing was like Payne Haas, right? Pretty good at football. Good front row forward. Imagine if you had like another sort of Payne Haas type player that could play big minutes, give you big output.
I mean...
No, hang on. Let's pick Max King and play him for 20 minutes, and we'll pick Stefano and play him for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
To be fair to Stefano, I actually think he was okay. Good. Yeah. But again, tell me you're not fucking picking Keon and May over those two. Like, it's just a fucking joke.
It doesn't need to be Keon and May. Just Keon or May. Just any one of them.
It's a fucking G-up. Anyway.
I can't say a word, considering I was probably bitching about like the Robert Toya pick or whatever, but yeah, the man stood up, gave Latrell a bath.
Oh,
he did.
Oh, also, are we done with Cleary in Origin? I saw a stat that Moses hasn't lost like a meaningful game. Like, he may have lost like a dead rubber, but like he hasn't lost a game that meant anything, which is incredible.
Cleary's 0-4 in deciders as well. So yeah, the stats are starting to rack up on Cleary that maybe the big stage is a little bit too bright for him.
Insert that Donald Trump get those lights off meme.
Yeah. I don't know, like Cleary, like obviously like being the coach's son for most of his career, like probably knows the Penrith Panthers like the back of his hand. Probably is just one of those guys that needs to prep for everything and have everything right, like that nerd in the corner of the room that knows everything that's going to go on, and comes into a 10-day camp and can't perform. I was thinking about this on the during the day, like 10-day camp, like, you know, leaving a lot of your boys. They tried to put the Panthers boys around him, but yeah, it just hasn't worked, has it?
No, it's a system, isn't it? Penrith's system is coming in shining red hot at the moment with, you know, coming into that stage. And don't get me wrong, some of them are good, you know, but it's more bad than good, I guess, at the Origin level, sadly. So a game that New South Wales should win, and everybody says they're better on paper, but apparently means nothing.
Can't wait to go back and watch Laurie Daly shill tab odds on a Thursday night.
Oh man, if he's back next year, I'm going to be very annoyed. That's as a New South Wales fan, that's for sure. Fucking hell. All right, let's move on from that. Thank God you're watching the Round 19 preview show, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Obviously, we're all on deck. Hit subscribe and like if you haven't yet. Plenty more, hopefully, positive things than New South Wales getting belted last night at home in a decider ahead of us in the next 9 rounds of footy. But hit that follow button, leave us a review if you're listening on audio. On today's show, more positive things. We've got Squeeze of the Week, the top scorer in our Unlimited League. We'll go through that. We're going to give you the hot topics of Val Holmes versus Zac Lomax. That's a pretty big decision that people need to make this week. So we'll give you our argument on both, which way we're heading or which way we're siding between Val and Lomax. Obviously, the ideal situation is to potentially have both, but a lot of people don't have that cash. So we'll give you our preference. And we're also going to spend the majority of this show bringing you our best 18 for the run home. So we've got a tier list ready to go. We'll rank them from hooker all the way through to fullback, and we'll give you our best options for your team for the run home, as well as trade trends and captain's corner. Matty, who took out Squeeze of the Week this week?
Well, as always, the Squeeze of the Week does help you drink responsibly and conveniently. Braino in the chat was making fun of me for my free pause the other night, and I didn't need to do it. I do need to top up my standard squeeze so I can get it in the freezer, and drink it out of my 4-in-1. I drink it every morning with my coffees. Keeps your coffees hot and your drinks cold. Honestly, cannot recommend the 4-in-1 enough. Get 15% off on us. It's good value anyway. And can I tell you, Braino, about a guy that gets it? Hugh. Coach of Viking Hosking with 1287. He looped KO weeks as basically anybody with a huge score. And then Turbo, Marky Mark, Garrick, Pod Timoko with an 82. I really like the Turbo being in there. I genuinely wish I could have a chat to Hugh, and he's probably going to slide into our DMs to claim his prize. But let us know whether you just had better trade outs and you just kept on keeping on with Turbo. I traded Turbo out so much earlier, and it's been an absolute masterstroke for you, mate. Look, got you home. And Justin, coach of Just Good, continues to lead the league, sitting in 6th overall with 1,053 last week, which, in my opinion, is a pretty good score if you didn't have KO weeks. And we have 24 in the top 100. So kudos to you guys, and a standard squeeze for Hugh.
Hop on in our DMs, Hugh. We'll get that to you, mate. Congrats. Big week. 1287. Yep. It was always going to be someone had the captaincy or the VC on KO weeks this week that takes it out. That's for sure. So well played. Good risk taking there. Let's move on to the hot topics for this week. Boys, Zac Lomax versus Valentine Holmes seems to be the question everyone's asking this week. What do we do at centre wing? There's a few options there. Are people moving off a Billy Smith potentially after the bye round, after he did nothing for us last week? What a great hold that was. Where are we at? Where are our heads at with that? Because I guess, we've got to look at draw. We've got to look at, potential upside. We're looking at ceiling. They're both priced at exactly the same price for the most part. So, Josh, where's your head at initially with first thoughts on Lomax versus Val?
I mean, you can make arguments for both. I mean, Val has been ultra consistent. Lomax has only scored hasn't scored a try without Moses all season, and that is averaging what he's averaging. You expect that to increase when Moses does return. My initial inkling was Val, just due to the draw. I think from memory, Parramatta's draw wasn't the greatest. Let me pull it up quickly. We're looking at Penrith this week. Penrith this week, the Raiders in Canberra, Broncos in Brisbane, Melbourne for the next 4 weeks. I think Lomax is a guy you want to have for the finals rather than now. Cowboys,
100%.
South, Roosters, New Zealand in New Zealand, but missing Barnett, missing Metcalf, and then Newcastle in the final round of the year. So for me, my very, very initial inkling was Val, but there is cases for both. Obviously, the big one, you would expect the Eels to improve once Mitch comes back, therefore having Lomax improve as well.
Moses due back next week. Mozak Lozis. Mozak. That could catch on, actually. Moses is back next week, Matty. So, is there I guess there is a narrative there to go, you know what, I'll just cop a score this week. And coming up against Milky Jenkins, Casey McLean on that wing, it's not exactly a bad matchup. It's quite a good one. It's more a matter of, do we think Penrith are really going to put it together this week after a pretty disappointing Origin performance? And I think there's every chance they do. I think they're going to come back pretty strongly this weekend against Para. But, I mean, Moses back next week, it makes the appeal much, much better for Lomax. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I said previously, like, the consistency of Val is great, but I do think when Moses plays, Lomax can win you a week. So I really think it is how you play it. The way that I play it, I would probably lean towards Lomax. I'm a bit higher on the Eels with Moses than I am on the Dragons on a day that ends in Y. So
it's not rounds 1 to 3 Dragons, is it? It's rounds 4 to 18 Dragons that we're looking at the moment, sadly.
It's typical Dragons is bad.
Yeah.
We talk about the floor. The floor for Lomax is also very, very fine.
Worst probably 50, right?
Yeah, worst score of the season, 47 in round 1 when Melbourne humped him when he was playing centre. But basically, since he's moved to the wing, it's been 89, 50, 70, 101, 121, 62, 61, 81, 88. It's very, very good. It's just the next 4 weeks is not ideal. I think if you're looking at it holistically, probably Lomax with Moses back. But you've just got to grit your teeth for the next month, I would say.
Yeah, it's tough. For me, you got to look at ownership as well, and I think that probably plays a part at this time of the year, looking at a guy that's about 55% owned in top teams versus a guy that's at 15% owned. So, if you think that both of the floors seem kind of similar, I'd say Lomax floor is 50-55 as an absolute worst case. I'd say Val's is probably close to the same. When you look at Val's scores this year, it's he's putting up incredibly consistent numbers. He's had one score under 58 since round 2. He put up a 40 in round 2 against Souths. And aside from that, he's gone 70, 70, 90, 60, 60, 90, 70, 80, 50, 60, 117. So, when you look at those scores, he's putting up Lomax scores right now. If you want to compare the two, I don't think you can go wrong. I think it's more a matter of how much. What's your risk for appetite on taking on the pod in 15% owned Val, who historically is a top 5 centre wing nearly every single year, versus Lomax, who's now 55% owned and is the popular pick this week. So just depends how you want to play that.
I'm seeing some people that are saying "Uno nos dos," and I'm just like, how many centre wings do you want? You can't. This. You've got Mark, you've got Garrick, you've got Herbie, you've got Carraz. There's 4, right? then you add in both of these guys. There's 2 of your reserves gone. You're reserving a fullback. There's 3, and then you're basically just running bare bones. I just think you probably can't have both, considering just how elite centre wing's been this year and how many we've got. My team's awful, and I've got 4 of the big guns, and I suck at this game this year.
I think I'm probably leaning towards Val, and as much as everyone's probably the Dragons suck and the Eels are going to be better when Moses is back, I agree on both of those things. I think they do, but I think when you're looking at the dominant side for the Dragons, the dominant side is the left side, and I'm pretty confident in saying that. I think Christian Tuipulotu is about a week away, so there's every chance he'll be back next week, which means that Val's appeal for me definitely increases knowing he's got Tuipulotu on his outside. Gutho sweeps dominantly to the left. For me, I just feel like there's probably the same, if not a little bit more upside in Val, knowing that he's going to get his hands on the ball a bit more at centre. If the Eels have a poor game, we've seen it before, Lomax kind of doesn't go missing, but he definitely doesn't get his hands on the ball as much as he'd like. So
I also feel like, and this maybe is like I'm reading way too much into things, but Lomax is going to go up in 17s, whereas Val's going to go up in 27s. I just fear that like we're going to get a lot of kick bombs catch by Lomax and scored with no tries, with no line break, which is very minute things, but just something to worth consider.
His base is outstanding, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
the bloke just fucking takes 27 runs a game. It's insane.
Cool.
And I don't necessarily want to be the vibes guy in the chat, but Val just gets it, right?
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of people on social say, I'm just going to buy the bloke that won Origin.
Yeah, I saw a comment today that some guy said he was buying whoever won, so I can respect that.
yeah.
People that lost Origin and don't get it. I would argue Brian Toto does get it, just born in the wrong state. What do we think of the Toto over Val Lomax Panthers draw is nice? Very much is. Braino, you've got concerns over his Tom Trbojevic muscles.
Yeah, it's the knee, isn't it? It's the knee that he's having trouble with, the MCL or whatever it is that he's been LCL that he's been managing. Apparently, physio says in isolation, the LCL, if there's no other ligament damage, is relatively easy to manage. Obviously, the fact that he played last night, I know that he probably would have played through a fair bit of pain, and it was pretty evident that he couldn't step off that leg at all. But for a bloke who comes into Origin, the biggest arena in the game, and puts up 25 runs for 260 metres, surely you're in okay shape. Cool. Like, my concern is he doesn't back up. That's probably my concern for this. Otherwise, I'm very interested, Corey. I'm probably keener on Toto as a super left field pod with that Penrith draw than I probably would be on Val and Lomax.
What about Penrith left field pods and a man that will not get rested? Blaze Talungi. What do we think? Am I like trying to outthink the room here?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Not just the room. The
whole competition. No, I don't mind Blaze, but
I just love the shape that they're running.
Yeah.
For Blaze.
Honestly, Cleary is the one creating it all for Blaze. Like, if Cleary wasn't around, I'd be like, nah, not keen. And we said this into the buy rounds. The major buy rounds, people were keen on Blaze, and then Cleary went missing, Blaze did nothing. It's no coincidence that Cleary's the one first off the ruck. He's the one at first receiver. He's creating the shape and creating the space for Blaze Talungi to cook on the left edge. I can get around it. I just don't know whether I want to go that far left field. Like, I'm probably 3 fields over.
I wonder if I think I said in a group chat last night, like, Blaze Talungi, just pick him over Luai next time Moses gets injured.
May as well. Mate, just another Penrith guy and a Penrith system to come into the New South Wales Origin. That's always worked well in the past for us, so we may as well just continue to do that.
Yeah, they did bring did bring West Tigers form in, but like, I genuinely think if Toto was named this week, it would be a Lomax, Val, and Toto segment. That's how high I as well am on Toto.
I'm still very tempted to do it. Like, if he's named, I could just go Toto. Like, because if he's named to play 2 games back to back within 72 hours, like, surely he's in a decent spot. Otherwise, they'd be silly to play him if there's any sort of risk for him.
I just think I think Toto is the best option out of the 3 of them too. I just think you need to probably prepare yourself that you're not going to get 8 games out of him. That's the only downside.
Yeah, there'll be some sort of rest. It's a Harry Grant situation all over again, isn't it? Just waiting for the rest to come because they're in a pretty good spot now.
But at centre wing, I feel like you've got a Karapani or somebody sitting there that you can slot in if Toto's out and still be okay. Like, the thing with Harry Grant is you've probably got to keep going. And not that you cop an AE with flex anymore, but it does take another scoring opportunity off the books. So.
Yeah, it does. It does. So where are we leaning? We're going, if Toto's named, somehow he's made it into the Lomax versus Val conversation. If Toto is named, we'd go with Toto over both?
Yeah, purely pod.
I would.
Yep.
Just at the ownership as well, it's just insane. My list would be Toto, Val, Lomax. Out of preference.
Yeah. I agree.
Toto, Lomax, Val.
You're higher on Lomax.
I'm a bit. Yeah, I'm on Lomax, and I get all the reasons. I just can't buy a Dragons player.
And look, honestly, we're having a conversation about 2 guys that averaged 75 this year. one's going to run on the run home will average 77.3 and the other one will average 74.3. Like it's not going to be a huge gap. It's not going to be a game breaker, but that 36 points that you get over the last 10 weeks might be the difference between you winning your league or not. So, hopefully that helps. It actually hasn't helped me at all. So I still don't know which way I'm going to go. I'm probably Val.
I'll probably just keep Marju.
I'll just load up with all the Penrith players for this next 4 weeks. Get Marju. Yeah, good. All right, let's move into the tier list. Our top 18 players. Obviously, there's a fair bit to talk through. We'll talk through all 7 positions here. We'll bring it up on the screen so we've got it in front. Move my notes out of the way.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, that's right. So let's have a chat about this because obviously we've got a fair few players to pick from. I think we've got maybe 25, 26 players here that we can go through. We've included some nuffs in this conversation as well. We've, obviously got all of the guns in there that we think we would pick. Let's start at hooker. The conversation all week, boys, has been Harry Grant versus Connor Watson. Matty, where's your head at with these guys head-to-head? If you needed a hooker one for the rest of the year, who have you got?
I hate hookers so much, and I can never get the timing on Harry Grant that I'm going Connor Watson. And I know that he wears the number 9. Just plays that role a bit differently than most other hookers and has been in elite form. He was an absolute treat to own for the first 14 weeks. I had to trade him out at some stage because the draw was just putrid for Origin playing Roosters players. But yeah, I'll be getting Connor Watson in this week, and that's the proof's in the pudding with my tiers. So,
what are you thinking, Josh? Are you on the same track as if you had to get a hooker this week, you'd buy Connor Watson over Harry Grant?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm a Connor Watson hooker one kind of operator. Just like the duel, like having keep going around. Like the fact that he's just shitting out 70 points for fun. We saw Harry Grant get 2 try assists and barely crack 80. So I'm never going to see someone drop off harder than Connor Watson next year with Reece Robson there. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can.
It's very true, isn't it? It's sad. But, I mean, his numbers this year have been outstanding, really, for the most part. I know we'd obviously prefer Connor Watson to be in the 13 jersey, but, when he's putting up 13 base numbers, like from round 5 onwards. I mean, he had 100 in round 2, but then 55, 78, 86. There's a 40 in there. Then he's gone 60, 60, 60, 80. Like, you can't be upset with that. I think if I was looking, and we'll talk about 2RF soon, but if I was looking for a 2RF, I'd probably look in a different direction. But if I'm looking for a guy that's going to be solely my hooker one and play at hooker for me for the rest of the year, it's Connor Watson over Harry Grant, just due to the uncertainty, Josh, that there's every chance you're waiting on a rest and just wondering when that rest is going to come.
Great. Yeah, you got the Hemi concerns, and Wishart and Garlic have proven to be fine.
I guess the next conversation comes, do you pot up at hooker? If you've got neither of these guys, is there a valid argument to have around someone like a Wade Egan who's sitting at 450k with a pretty nice draw coming up for New Zealand?
Yeah, wheels up Wigan, big Wigan guy. I wanted to make sure he got some love and put him in this conversation because it will be just Grant, Watson, Brayley, McInnes. There is a little bit of JMK or Donga, our boy, floating around, but I think Wigan's very much of a good shout. Tigers, Knights, Titans, Dolphins, Dogs, Dragons, Titans, Eagles, Seagulls for the run home. Like very, very good run home for Wigan, and obviously when he's playing 80s, he's putting up good numbers. Sometimes you can't afford everyone. And if he's going to give you a 60 for 450k, that's definitely a consideration over like a Watson who's like 600 plus.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. If I was going to go cheap, he'd be the one. Maybe Robson would be the other. I don't mind Reece Robson at the price. He's like 490, I think, from memory. So I can get around Reece Robson. But yeah, look, if you want some attacking upside, Reece Robson isn't really going to give you that. Blake Brayley started to run the ball a little bit more. So I think if you've got Blake Brayley, you don't need any of these other guys. I think you could comfortably nuff, which brings us to our man Keep Going.
Oh, he's the real hooker one.
He's the hooker too, but in a sense of a guy that you probably need in your team, he's definitely the man with the 2RF duel there. Allows that flexibility. We had a bit of a conversation around whether you would buy Connor Watson at 2RF knowing that you have a Harry Grant or a Blake Brayley on a buy in 25. You don't know when the rest is coming. Is there logic there, Matty, first of all, to kind of go early on Connor Watson and leave him at 2RF, or would you rather just have him there ready or buy him when you actually need the cover?
Yeah, honestly, all his value for me is that hooker. Like, it's basically just me hating hooker that bad that I'm selecting someone that's not really one. He wouldn't, and I don't want to be a prick because I'm a huge Connor Watson guy, but he's probably not in my top 4 2RFs at the moment. So I'm no chance of buying him. I'm going to buy someone with some upside, and Connor Watson, great at hooker. Just don't buy him at 2RF.
Fair enough. I think that's our hooker rankings. Get Connor Watson this week if you need a hooker. Harry Grant, very, very capable number 2. Just got to be prepared for rest. Wade Egan, if you're looking for a cheaper pod and you can't afford the top tier guys. And then I probably would say Kalani going is nearly a must. Having money tied up in both positions at hooker just seems like a complete waste to me this year. I feel like you need one good hooker that you can play each week, and then going can be your 2RF6 or your hooker 2.
Matty also kicked and screamed to get Sam Healy in this list, but we just couldn't make it work, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you guys are planning for round 26. I'm planning for round 23 when Wade Egan gets a HIA and Sam Healy becomes a god. So
I'm surprised you actually think Wade Egan's going to go 4 weeks without getting a HIA. That's quite impressive.
Yeah. So I am ever the optimist.
Yes. Oh, we know that about you, that's for sure. Let's move on to front row forward. I don't even know if we need to have a conversation around this. It's just Terrell May and Payne Haas.
Yep.
Is there, Josh, logic to look at front row forward and potentially pot up, potentially look at stacking a front row forward 3, or are you just going to go these 2 big boppers and move on, use the cash elsewhere?
As my favourite Supercoach content creator, SC Mattrix, once said, no, I hope this helps.
Yep. Excellent. I don't even know whether we need to continue to talk about that. It's then 2 nuffs, potentially, or a naff wide, or whoever other plotter that you've got front row forward 2RF dual that can sit there at front row forward 3.
Yeah, the only thing, like, there's a duel and it's like Keon and Aaron Clark and blokes like that. It's just whether you put them in 2RF or front row forward, basically.
Oh, yeah, it's Miles Martin, it's Ethan Roberts, it's
Yep.
Tukey Simpkins, it's just any of those guys. Make sure they've got duels because Keon, we'll talk about him shortly, but having him down at 2RF is going to be very, very handy if, for whatever reason, one of these 2 big boys get hurt or rested or whatever.
I reckon you definitely need to have one duel. And the good thing about Miles Martin and Ethan Roberts are that they've both got it. So worst case, Haas gets a buy. He's got a buy in round 20. So next week you're going to have another front row forward there. Ideally, you shift Keon up. That's probably going to be the easiest play for you. It'll open up another spot at 2RF for you potentially. So, it gives you those options next week, that's for sure. Let's talk 2RF, though, because it's definitely a little bit more broad. There are some more options on the board. Who are we considering our 2RF1, Matty? Who's the guy that you go, you know what, he's just a must-have. He needs to be in your team for the run home?
Dylan Lucas.
Okay. Not the order I thought we were going to go in, but we can go with that. So are we talking about playing Dylan Lucas at 2RF and not centre wing?
Oh, I don't care where you play him. You've just got to play him. I just feel like with how many good centre wings have kind of come in, like we just had a whole segment about, who you're buying, Lomax and everyone like that. We're not having a 2RF segment about, buying Paddy Carrigan or, I don't know, insert other mid 2RF. Like, Dylan Lucas has just been ripper all year. Set and forget, play him. I do think I was wrong to start the season off. His value probably does nearly lie at 2RF this year.
That was a very famous quote. Nearly went on a T-shirt, I reckon, in the WhatsApp. What is Dylan Lucas's value like?
Very close to getting turned into a T-shirt.
And sorry, Fresh Prince is already all over you saying that surely his value lies in centre wing. So yeah, it's a famous quote. Famous quote. What are your thoughts, Josh? Where are we going from here? I would have probably said that maybe there's a couple of other guys on this list that are more important than Dylan Lucas. Where do we start?
I think Dylan Lucas is a must-have, but I probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't be the first thing that comes out of my mouth. Mine would be the man go back. It's the man that you were hovering over. It's probably Kevin Comatungi. Just the duel. Obviously, there's one glaring name that we haven't mentioned. I would say he is the pure 2RF1. I just think Keelan's duel with Haas having a bye, with the cover that he's going to provide you, I think he's just invaluable. Numbers have been down a couple of weeks, but yeah, still backing it. and Fresh Prince. If you bring that name up, I will ban you.
Oh, you still owe me beer.
I do. I owe people many beers from many stupid bets I put on. No Kyle O'Donnell in this tier list, but no, Braino, it is Keon. Just what more can we say about him?
Nah, just get him in. He's literally the 2RF Terrell May Payne Haas at the moment this year. I know that's a big thing to say, but like the numbers that he's been putting up are just insane, like to that degree. So he's a guy you definitely need in your team. Eli Katoa, definitely the next one for me. Like I would argue Eli Katoa is the 2RF one. Yeah. Especially with, the connection he's got with Hughes. He's probably the best outside or the best back rower under the high ball in the competition besides 2022 Origin Lindsay Collins. But aside from that, I don't think I've seen him go up for a ball and not come down with it in the last season and a half, 2 seasons. Like he's just a freak. Definitely a guy you need.
That's because you got a freight train running at a little fullback.
I watched him 2 weeks ago, and there was a bomb put up, and he just head down, ran for 45 meters, took it in the air, and was unreal. You talk about a guy that's best under the high ball. I think this next man probably rivals Nick Ora for the best line runner in the comp, and it's forever young, Huddy Young. I'm very, very comfortable to have him as I wouldn't say must-have because I think he's north of 800K, but if you've got him, you're loving life. And if you don't have him, he's probably a guy to consider. I'd put him in the top 2 or 3 guys to have in 2RF.
Yeah, the only issue is the osteitis pubis, isn't it? Like that's the concern is how long that's going to linger. We know that it is an injury that does linger over time as well. So I'd need some news from physio or from someone to say he's
apparently he was
got over it,
trouble free coming into Origin. I wouldn't know
trouble free.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we do the draw run home for the Raiders is so good, and that connection with Strange is just picking up week on week. So big guy, big Huddy Young guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is exposing us all?
Kilmar, he's bringing up all of our bad takes. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
I'm waiting for Seyfarth next. Seyfarth to be put in chat.
And also, we didn't mention Blake Brayley and hooker because, for the most part, we're looking at a different option. I would personally, I don't think I'd buy Blake Brayley. That's probably why he's not on the list. I wouldn't buy him this week. I'd look for a little bit more value across the board. But if you got him, he's a very fine hold. Seyfarth's made his way into the chat as well. Fucking hell, we're getting grilled here. Fair enough, we deserve it. Angus Crichton. Number 5, probably not number 5 for me, but definitely a guy that I would be considering near must-have territory. And I'd probably argue that if there was a couple more guys on this list and I didn't have Hudson Young and I didn't have Gus, it's just a no-brainer to get Gus at 200K cheaper. A guy that was considered the 2RF1 from last year, now putting up numbers of 67.5 in BP over the last 3 weeks. That is with no attack. He scored 1 try all year. For me, this guy is putting his hand up as near. I'm going to say near must-have this week if you don't have him. What are your thoughts, Matty?
Well, nobody has him for starters, so
about 15% have him.
Everyone, yeah. I don't. Yeah, 100%. It depends. I was a bit late to work out how we were structuring this tier list, but Crichton, 100%. I'm not sure you're buying a Kickow or a Clark or anything this week, but I'd argue that a couple of those guys will probably outscore Gus on the run home. I do think that he's the best buy out of all these guys this week, and a perfect 2RF. If he's your 2RF5, you are flying.
I would argue you don't need to have those 5 guys in your team because you're probably handicapping yourself elsewhere. I'd be picking 4 out of these 5 for the run home and maybe someone perfectly capable of being able to plug in like a Naf White or someone like that as your 2RF5. Because if you've got 5 gun 2RFs, how do you decide who you're going to sit? If you've got 5 of these guys every single week, how are you going to be able to sit them with any confidence?
I've got 6. Thanks for helping.
I think people forget that. They forget you don't need to have the top 6 best players for every position because you only get to pick 4 out of your bench. So working out where, I would probably say Angus just on price is needing to be in there. We probably all own Lucas. We all own Keon, and we all own Eli Katoa. So it probably does leave Huddy Young frozen out. But if you sent me your team that had Huddy Young in it, then obviously we're not going to be you got to get him out.
I'd be jealous.
Yeah, stud.
Sarge Beer flaming us for not having Hudson Young in the list. Come on, brother. Open your eyes, man.
Must be watching Playbook because we definitely have Hudson Young right there.
He's right here. He's number 4 at the moment. And how could we forget the greatest 2RF centre wing nuff of all time, Kane Bradley, to put in the list? What a man. Obviously gave us the best 36 you'll ever see when you needed him. Now he's gone off into the abyss, which is more than you can say for some of the other options that we've looked at. But yeah, definitely a guy that will help you facilitate that Lucas, or if you've got Aitken, God help you. Like Josh and I, we're stuck with him. But if you've got Aitken, it helps facilitate and open up that flexibility with those duels as well. So let's move on to halfback. There's 3 options here. Obviously, Nicho Hynes, Nathan Cleary, Jerome Hughes. How are we ranking these guys? Because for me, you've got to look at the draw for the run home. We've got to consider Nathan Cleary isn't goal kicking yet. Until I get news that Nathan Cleary is goal kicking, I'm going to try not to buy into that hype too much. But Jerome Hughes is a bit concerning. Nicho Hynes has an amazing draw on the run home. Josh, where's your head at with 1, 2, 3 for these guys? Is it the fraud at number 1?
Right now, with Cleary not goal kicking. Yes, it's Nicho Hynes number 1. But that will change very quickly the minute I see Cleary have a green circular disc in his hand after they score a goal. Yeah, unfortunately, somehow Nicho Hynes made this halfback 1 as we currently talk information.
Your 2026 New South Wales halfback, Nicho Hynes.
I mean,
mate.
He got more try assists last series than Cleary did this series, so...
It's a bit rough. His scores actually have not been that bad. Not terrible. It's just not Nicho Hynes that we know.
And I do it too. He gets unequivocally rinsed way more than he should from a Supercoach standpoint.
Like, when you're looking at his scoring, he had a 48, a 38, and a 48. He's had 3 scores under 50, which is just unheard of for Nicho Hynes and what we know he can do in previous years. But I think we just need to get that out of our head now. We need to look at Nicho Hynes as a 70 guy. You know, he's averaging 70 on the season, which is good enough for, I think, second in halfback averages, or could even be best. That's completely fine. So the question you've got to ask is, like, do I bother trading out a guy with a really nice draw coming up against the Finns this week at Shark Park? I think it's Shark Park. Then the Roosters, then the Souths, Cowboys, Dragons, Gold Coast, back-to-back. You cannot trade that out.
No, the draw's unreal. Yeah, I think he wins this by default, just purely because he's goal kicking, and we expect Sharks to start humping teams.
He's like the 600k Stephen Bradbury of this list.
Literally.
I don't want to be a flog, and I know that like I did limited.
Bit hard for you, isn't it?
This. Yeah, it's not something. I'm super high on Katoa, really.
Are we? I feel like Izzy Katoa is just Cooper Cronk for a Supercoach. Like, unreal. All his try assists come from kicks. That's it. The game he got 5 try assists and didn't crack 100. Sorry, that was when I was done. I was done with.
He did crack 111 in the last game, and he had 76 points in create. 76 points in line breaks and line break assists. That is that is nuts.
Yeah, but we literally talk about, like, you know, had the bye, misses another bye, and plays the Sharks, who are pretty decent defensively. Then it's just like it's okay. Like, it's a mixture. I just can't have Izzy Katoa anywhere near a top 3 conversation, unfortunately.
I don't think so either. His scores have been great. His base is okay for a halfback in the late 20s, early 30s. That's fine. Putting up 50 to 70 most weeks, even on a bad week. But yeah, the ceiling isn't there for me, and I'm looking at ceiling. I'm a bit like Matty earlier. Like, we're looking for that guy that's going to go 120. Nicho can do that, as much as, you know, it's coming few and far between this year. Nicho's still capable of doing that. So, no, I agree. How are we ranking Cleary and Hughes, though? If you is there temptation? Matty, we spoke about this on the Q&A. Josh, is there temptation to go Hughes to Cleary? Let's say goal kicking aside, he's not goal kicking. Are you still just going to wait?
Nah, I want Cleary. Yeah, I mean, sorry, just want to go back to Izzy Katoa. His average right now is 1 point more than Hynes, but we're not talking about season. We're talking about run home. I would bet whatever wager people want that Nicho Hynes scores more points than Isaiah Katoa from now until season's end. So that's just want to highlight that this is not ranking for the season. It's it's here. But no, I'd put Nathan Cleary. I'd have him borderline number one, even without the goal kicking. But when that eventually comes back, he will. Yeah, so he's obviously clear cut two for me.
My problem is, like this is a tiers list, and not many people have held Cleary through. Phenomenal if you have. You've been gifted a treat right now. You've lost a few points along the way, but Hughes to Cleary just isn't worth it at the moment for me. And this is the way I would set my tier list: Nico, Cleary, and then Hughes. But Hughes to Cleary is just not worth it. At least not this week.
I think the way that I want people to, if we're building a sniper team tonight, this is how we would structure the team. This is the people that we would prioritize. But if you have Hughes, we're not saying selling him at all. I wouldn't be bringing in Clear until I see him goal kicking. But yeah, if we were building a sniper team right now, I wouldn't have Hughes in it.
Also, just remember that Hughes is due 100 this week, right? So he scores 105, 41, 32, 136, 45, 113, 58. So he's pretty much locked in for 100 this week, right?
Plays every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Can't wait to bet he'll over on player performance and lose again.
Yeah. The Storm's draw is pretty tough on the run home, though. We need to look at... they've got the Knights. They've been okay defensively, funnily enough, but they're down on troops. So let's call that a good matchup. Manly, pretty good matchup. Roosters, coming good. Para, good matchup. Then they've got Broncos, Penrith, Bulldogs in quarters, semis, and finals. In quarters, semis, and prelims and semis in head-to-head. Yeah. And then they've got the Roosters in head-to-head finals into the Broncos. Like, that last 5-week run could be the worst 5-week run in the comp for the Storm.
I think people also need to realise how valuable goal kicking is. Like, 5 tries is 20 points.
20 points.
Yeah.
It's the easiest 20 you'll ever get. That's why Nico averages 70 and not 52.
It's why Sarko averaged 70 not scoring a try for 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move to 5'8", because I assume we're going to be running with 2-gun halfbacks. That's what we spoke about when we talk structure. So you're going to want 2 of these 3 guys. I think it's pretty clear cut. 5'8", who's the 5'8" one? I didn't put Cam. I'll get Cam Munster just for the sake of it. I'll find a photo of him. Cam Munster or Jaden Campbell, I would like to say, are probably going to be the 5'8", 5'8", do we agree?
Yeah. If Luke Metcalf didn't get injured, he would be in the. There's for the guys in the chat. That's one for Luke Metcalf chat this time. But speaking of JCs, I think I would buy JC, but Cam Munster's probably going to be the 5'8" one. On average.
Are we forgetting about
total? Sorry,
Queensland driving influencer Ezra Mam? I think he's genuinely the 5'8" one for the run home.
Queensland's driving influence.
Okay. So if he's not the 5'8" one, how far behind do you think he is?
I'm just looking at their draw.
He's mid 500Ks.
The draw looks nice.
Yeah.
2 games against
Melbourne. I think if you're buying one, you're buying him.
Yeah. I think if you're buying, it's Ezra. Yep. I'm very, very clear on that. I think I'm okay to forego like the whole. Oh, he's probably not the 5'8" one in a true pure point sense, but I think for value, he needs to be seriously considered.
Are we talking about total points for the run home here? Because I assume that's what we're talking about, right? Like,
sorry,
no.
Hunt is back.
Ben Hunt got named in the 9 this week. If we're talking total points, I don't know whether it's Munster, because I reckon obviously he's not playing this week. We've got word on that. He's probably going to get one more rest on the run home. I would argue it's going to be around 25, 26 when you need him the most in your head-to-head finals. I mean, do you feel like Jaden Campbell, with 2 more games under his belt, can outscore Cam Munster on the run home total points-wise, Josh?
I think total points, JC is the 5'8" one.
That's my opinion too.
I think the fact that he's got a fullback duel is also handy. Not saying that we're going to need it, but if shit goes tits up, it's there. Like, it's always good to plan for these things. But yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of people worried about Ben Hunt in the chat. I've got no concern over Ben Hunt whatsoever. Have you seen Ezra Mann be playing football in the last 3 weeks?
And it's honestly
been playing football in the last 3 weeks as well.
Ben Hunt is going to do what Corey Pakes did, but much, much better.
Yep. Make 35 tackles and just give decent ball.
Yep, 100%.
And probably run from half a bit more than Pakesy. So
So we'll definitely get Ezra Mam in there. If you're buying a 5'8" this week, it's Ezra Mam. Otherwise, if you've got a JC or a Munster, I would not be getting both.
If you're building a sniper team right now, who's your 5'8"?
Ezra, probably.
Ezra, yeah.
Just because he's
If I'm
cheaper.
buying a player, it's Ezra.
Yeah, cool.
Because you can use that money elsewhere.
Yeah, it's not what you spend, it's what you save.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
Brought to you by Ryan from Astute Newstead.
It'll take me 19 weeks to finally understand Standards Mantra.
You get it, man. You get it. Okay, guys. Everybody in the chat. You know I like to do this at least. I've done it once ever, so at least once an episode going forward. Do you prefer Green Tea Braino or Carlton Draft Josh? Because either way, it's a little bit different. And
Wait,
Josh on the Carlton Dries is...
Yeah, this is weird.
No, there's the odd time where you get Green Tea Braino in the standard squeeze, and I tell you what, Carlton Draft Josh, that gives me movement. So let us know in the chat, guys. You know what you're going to get from me every week. Let us know what you like from these guys. So.
Or we can just all get... It'll be like Bolter Matty, Bolter Josh, Bolter Braino.
Do you think we should do like round 27 and we're all just absolutely fucking fried?
I'm going to be there anyway.
That's just a normal fucking Wednesday evening for
all wear
Mattrix.
suits, but no, like I might start pre-drinking for like 5 o'clock.
Jesus. Matty'd have to pre-drink from the day before to be fucking half buzzed by the time we get there.
I was dismantling a shed from like 8 a.m. just in case you guys are wondering how my day's going.
Getting the alter ego, Cruiser Josh.
Yes,
Yeah,
Guava Cruiser Josh is who I want to see.
That's a good 3 weeks. Okay, cool. Speaking of tier lists, we know I'm number one. Let's move on to centre wing.
Let's not, because we missed Tanner Boyd. What are your thoughts on Tanner Boyd this week as a buy?
Tanner Boyd because like I think he's okay. He's goal kicking and he's 350k and he went to Canberra Park.
He's had like 16 try assists and 12 line break assists in Cup.
And he's playing the Tigers this week, which is like a New South Wales Cup team.
Yep.
I would take Tanner Boyd over Latufenu.
Tanner Boyd, for cash purposes, might need to be in your sniper team if you're making one.
Yeah.
I would say.
You've got to have 2 5'8s. You can't nuff a 5'8. That's fucking terrible.
yeah.
Would you take him over Latu? Because I think Latu is probably the most obvious 5'8"
I think the goal kicking and the Warriors draw pops it over a little bit for me.
Not Canberra Park?
No, the Canberra Park connection is there, but it's over the ditch now, sadly. So like, it's the connection loses its power when he has to leave the country.
People start phones if you go just you would have no idea.
I mean, a little joke from last year when David Fafita was and Tanner Boyd was the starting halfback for the Gold Coast Titans. We were talking about the Canberra High connection because they both went to the same high school. So for anybody who doesn't follow, let's talk centre wing. Who's the centre wing one? Herbie, Karaz, Marky Mark, Val. I mean, we can put Lomax in this list. Ruben Garrick. Who are you going with at number one?
Blaze. Nah.
You probably put Blaze at 5'8" rather than centre wing.
You probably could if you were looking at buying. Look, I was speaking about selling Herbie to you off air about 4 weeks ago, just because the draw turned pretty grim, and now you've got no Cody Nicarima and no Bostock. Is there a world where we can say that Herbie's not the centre wing one?
No.
I don't think so either.
You think he's unequivocally the centre wing one for the run home?
Yep.
I don't.
You know what? No, I don't think he's the centre wing one, but I think he is still a must.
Of course, yeah, but like I don't think he's like this runaway.
I would say Karaz is the centre wing one.
If you're building a sniper team right now, I'm not putting Herbie in it.
Probably can't afford him. We've only got fucking 11 mil to work with.
Well, you probably can because it's a sniper team because you've got fucking 6 nuffs. But
915k for a guy that I think is probably like a centre wing 4. No, I'm right.
Yeah, I definitely prioritise other purchase. If I didn't have him by now, I'm not buying Herbie Farnworth.
Herbie Karaz.
No, I nearly called him Herbie
think
Karaz.
Herbie outscores Karaz every time I go to like go away from Herbie or anything like that. He just scores like 120 in base against like the best team in the comp or whatever. Like honestly, like it's still Herbie over Karaz for me.
I'm going to say it's Karaz over Herbie.
I'm going to say it's Mark over the both.
Oh, jeez, we can't agree on this. All right.
Oh, because Sandwing's so wide. I think it's a Lomax versus Holmes debate. Like it's all like within a point or two.
Yeah.
But
Let's just throw them all on there.
I don't know. Like the Bulldog. I'm buying Carraz this week, but like the Bulldogs just look fucking shit. I don't know what side he's playing on. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on the left, he's going to score 1 million points this week.
If any team's going to play you into form, it's going to be the Cowboys.
That's a good point.
They've conceded the second most tries to left wingers this year as well. So it's a good matchup for Carraz if he's on the left.
Look,
anyway,
I think it's any one of those three. Like we're not split. We're splitting hairs. Like it's whatever. If you're building a team tonight, I wouldn't be putting Herbie in it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Val and Lomax can be pretty much in the same tier. We've already talked about it. It's your personal preference. And then I'd probably say Garrick at the end.
Yeah, Garrick is like a...
Yeah.
I mean, Garrick is a guy that you could fade.
Most people own him, though. So it's like, look, if you're building
That's what I mean. He's a good antipod.
If
you're building a team now, 716k, you could probably let
But is he an antipod, though? Because, I'd argue he probably could be.
Yeah, you could let him go. It's fine.
Melbourne, Bulldogs, Roosters, Canberra, back-to-back the next month. That's filth. That is like nearly at the hardest defensive matchups this year.
Yeah, but Garrick on the wing gives me movement.
Oh, it's good. It's way better than him at centre. But I would argue that your centre wing 5 could be where you take your centre wing 6 could be where you take your punt, and it could be Garrick that you antipod.
My centre wing 6 is Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. So
yeah, that's a nice little especially against the Tigers this week. Holy shit, could do anything.
So, well, okay. If we're adding someone to the tiers, is it Greg Marju or Roger Tuivasa-Sheck? Because that's my centre wing 6, and I'm like,
I'd say it's RTS.
Yeah, right.
No Ponga, no Sharp. Like, how much good ball is Marju going to get? He'll base 55, but surely there's got to be some points in. Chanel Harris-Tavita still on that left edge. I reckon Chanel Harris-Tavita probably gets more ball and takes more control of the attack as well. Same with Wade Egan for the Warriors now that Tanner Boyd's in.
How have we not included Toto? I just realised we need to get a photo of Toto in here.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
I mean, like, he's the guy that, like, yeah,
Toto's
you'd
one.
want to...
Centre wing 1.
Skelton. No.
I would put
So we're just going to put him right at the start of the list.
Toto either above Mark or above Herbie. Either or.
Above Mark or above Herbie. Righto.
So either 2 or 3.
4.
Let's do 2, just because we like a narrative.
Also, just want to clarify, like a lot of people are saying Karapani. Like, if you have Karapani, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
We're just more working out, like, players that we would want if we were to build a team right now and then rank them for the run home. So if you've got Karapani, fine. It's like the Cleary versus Hughes debate all over again.
Yeah, agreed. And then you've got Cody Ramsey, you've got Tom Rodwell there as your nuff options. Obviously, Kane Bradley up there that you can switch down to. So you've got a fair few options there at centre wing. Fullback debate. We've got 4 on the board here to talk through, and then we'll tackle captains. Tedesco, fullback 1. Pretty comfortably for me.
Yeah.
As a non-owner, yes.
Bro, you still don't own him.
No.
How are you only
Fucking
1,000 spots behind him?
shame me.
This week the Dragons concede the most tries to fullbacks this week. Like, are you not tempted at all to try and get him?
I just put it on mute as soon as you were trying to talk me into it.
Hate trying to talk you into doing good. That's all right.
No, I didn't. I dodged him last week, and I was 3 minutes away from a huge win. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay, fair enough.
I've got like Reece Walsh, Pappy, and Drinkwater, and I want to get Deadwoods. Like, it's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You've got the next 3 to 4 3 out of the 4 best options, so that's fine. I guess the question becomes, who's the fullback 2? Is it still Drinkwater? I haven't even got Ryan Pappenhausen's photo up here, so we probably should have that conversation too. Or maybe that's where my head's at. Do I see Pappy as a top 4 or 5 fullback on the run home?
So he's the guy I want to trade for someone. Like, I nearly did it to Teddy last week, but I didn't. Like, I prefer Pappy. I prefer Drinkwater over Pappy. I don't like the matchup against the Dogs this week, even though they're in shambles. But let's go Dolphins, St. George, Sharks, Parramatta, Newcastle, West Tigers, Broncos into the bye. Like Scott Drinkwater is goal kicking and hot.
Drinkies too.
Yeah, I agree, especially with just availability as well.
I think
They've got some nice games coming home.
Old Deadwoods would be 3 in my book.
Oh, you reckon? Man, there's something about Reece Walsh for this run home that just fucking scares the shit out of me as a non-owner. Like, and you two own him as well. I'm surprised you're not.
Scares the shit out of me, Matty, as a fucking owner as well.
Yeah, I get that. I just feel like the Broncos draw is actually quite nice too.
Yeah, have you seen Penrith?
Yeah, Penrith is nice too, 100%. I get it. But also, Dylan, I suppose they're both carrying injuries, so.
I would
all
take
right.
Deadwood 3.
Deadwoods are safer, for sure.
Are we really going to rank Reece over Pap?
Should we do it? Let us know in the comments.
I own both, and I will be holding Reece over Pap.
Walsh
Pap
plays.
will get rested.
The Titans, who concede the second most points to fullbacks behind Souths, who are on the bye. They've got a bye in round 20, which is kind of sucks, but then they've got Paris Souths, like the next 3 out of the 4 weeks, obviously, including the bye. Then they've got Dolphins, Newcastle, Cowboys. Tell me.
Captain 3 times out of 4 weeks. Honestly, he's got an armband 5 times out of 6, 5 times out of 7 weeks. Like, yeah,
Might need to get one more. Might need to get one more photo. I forgot that we don't have
Trell. That's fine. I just think, honestly, Walsh is my 3. I'd have Walsh over Edwards personally.
Oh,
yep. No, let's do it.
I mean,
Wheels
sure.
Mate, you got to run the gauntlet sometimes. Edwards is safe, but he's also boring.
Trell bye this week into Penrith round 20, which is not ideal. Into Sharks 21, which is not ideal. Into Broncos 22, which is not ideal. But fuck me, it's a pretty good 3-week run. Titans, Eels, Dragons.
He just doesn't get it.
I think,
Yeah, Edwards is a Bunnings snag without onion and tomato sauce. That's what he is. Just bread and sausage.
Bread and butter.
Yeah, but when when your draw is you are the 1993 hot dog champion, there's a lot of food to be eaten.
Yeah,
Dylan Edwards in the
Dylan
next
Edwards
year.
is Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Sucks. There's our tier list. We won't go through the whole thing because we'll be here a little bit, but
that went for way longer than I thought.
Yeah,
no,
I know.
This is the whole ep.
Nearly the whole app, yeah. So there's our tier list. Obviously, if we were building a team from today, this is what it ideally would look like with a few nuffs in there. But there's our preferences for each position. Hopefully this helps for your run home or your trade targets this week. We obviously won't go through the trade trends this week because we've probably talked about the majority of them anyway in this episode. So let us move back to the normal screen. And then let's talk captaincy this week when I can find the stinger because my whole screen is all thrown out. Here it is.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
All right, captaincy to kick things off. Nico Hines against the Dolphins. Tell me that you're not tempted.
Very, unfortunately.
No Hammer. And Hammer's been ruled out as well. So
Yeah. No, I'm
one less attacking threat.
Definitely considering it. And terrified that I'm going to do it, and he'll score 55, and my VC will be ruined as per. But yeah, obviously Nico, you always play the matchup. Very, very keen, especially tomorrow night might be a nice way to start off the week. They do have a friend of the show, Trey Fuller, coming in. Nick Rima obviously out. Bit of Sauce action. Sauce at the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
The OG. Sauce is the OG of the Finns, isn't he? Round 1 halfback 2023. Sean O'Sullivan. Yeah, I'm keen. I don't think there's anybody else in this game I'd be looking at. I don't think I'd be captaining Herbie up against Jesse Ramian. I think that's a pretty decent size for size matchup for him. So Nico, probably the only option. I will be passing on this game. I can't. I'm not at that point where I can trust Nico with my VC anymore. What about the Storm against the Knights? Where are we at, Matty, with this one? Is there any option there? The Knights have been good defensively, but no Ponga, no Sharp. There's got to be some concerns there that Storm could run all over him.
Yeah, you also start to see Munster, no Coates, and things like that. I do think the Storm still run over them. The obvious one is Pappy in this one, but as you probably heard in the tone of our voice, we're less keen on Pappy. But yeah, it could just be a hold. Knights leaked a lot of points in their last couple games they've played. With like Ponga being out, with Fletcher Sharp being out, and I think it's just like missing pieces on their team. Yeah, look, Pappy could run rampant, and if you're gonna get a guy against a team that's been leaking points, you get the goal kicker. So yeah, Pappy versus the Knights is a VC shout.
And as Corey said in the chat, he was listening earlier, obviously, Hughes is due his 100. So if you want to jump on the Hughes 100 train, you can do that too. I'm just looking at the matchups. Yeah, it's not a good halfback matchup for the Knights, but again, it's a very different team. It's a very depleted team, so I don't think you can look at stats or numbers too much when you're comparing them. The obvious next one is Teddy versus the Dragons. Now, they've conceded 12 tries to fullbacks, which is the most tries in the competition. Matty's fading him, actively fading him, which is going to be a hide behind the couch and cover your eyes job from him. But Teddy VC this week, Josh, pretty much the easiest decision of the week.
Yeah, he is my vice capitano, and I don't think that's moving. And I'll probably take 85 because I don't have an A8 this week, so it'll be a free loot, which would be nice.
I've got Latu Finu as my only player on the bench.
Well, yeah, that's it. Like it'll just be Latu coming in, which is fine.
Yep. What about, is there anybody else for the Roosters against the Dragons? Because that could be a pretty handy matchup. Anyone else? Viliami Kikau against that left edge?
Billy Smith, for anyone that hasn't sold him, because we all have, so he's a guy.
He's due 100. Yep.
But no one else. Maybe Corral.
Yeah, so apparently the left edge or conceding to left edges, Dragons leak 77 points per game to left edge back rowers. So Viliami Kikau could be in the try scoring column potentially, which would be nice, but yeah, you've got to take Carraz against the Cowboys. Sorry, if he's on the left wing, does it change if he's on the right?
Nah. I mean, I'm just taking either way. If I was set on Carraz, and I don't really care where he plays, but I think there's better options.
Honestly, I'm set on Carraz as somebody that doesn't have Teddy. He has an armband for me this week.
At the moment, it could be Teddy VC into Carraz C for me this week. Yep. Depending on what side he's on. So when we look at the Cowboys and where they've conceded their tries, they've conceded 9 to right wingers, 6 to right centres, 6 to halfbacks, 7 to fullbacks, but their left side could be the worst defence in the comp. 13 to left wingers, 11 to left centres, 8 to left edge back rowers, and 9 to middle props. That is just cracked. They concede 32 tries to wingers, centres, and edge back rowers on the left side. So I would imagine that's going to be a tactic to surely target that edge. Is Bateman's out this week as well? Am I correct in saying, or is he back?
Bateman's out. I think he's out.
Who's going to be on the right then? Kai O'Donnell?
Wheels
or Nanai? Who knows?
Wheels up. We should buy him.
Maybe. Carraz for me, if he's on the left, is an automatic captain for me. Right, I'll think twice, I reckon. What about the Tigers against the Warriors? I was going to say RTS against the Tigers, conceding the most tries to left wingers, Josh. Is there any temptation there?
No, only because it comes after Tedesco. For me, Teddy's pretty much set and forget if you've got him. But yeah, I mean, I'd love a good pod VC play. Could be the week to do it. 16
tries to left wingers the Tigers have conceded this year. That is going to be an automatic add to the little multi to prop the multi up over the weekend if you're a punter. What are we looking at against the Eels? Penrith could do some things against the Eels, Matty. Where's your head at here?
Oh, I think they're going to blow it up. It just depends. Of course, Cleary against the Eels, huge. To'o, if he's named, 100%. It's just so late in the round, and I'm banking on so many trades where I would love for Ivan to come out on tomorrow night or Saturday or something, or some random interview on SEN saying, hey, our guys are back for this one. And then I'm tempted. Then I'm bringing those guys in. I just don't own those guys at the moment. So if I do bring Dylan them Edwards? I think
this week. I reckon he's got to be a captain against the Eels. They've conceded 15 tries to left wingers, 12 tries to right wingers, and we know that Dylan Edwards is going to be the one sweeping, getting the try assist every single time. He'll get the line break assist for the most part as well when they score.
And
he's kicking goals.
is I want to trade Pappy to him. And Pappy plays on Saturday. Everybody's saying, I just need Ivan to come out and say it earlier, otherwise it's next week and I fade. And I think Pappy's a fine hold. But, I've got to trade up my sleeve in case I can do this. And
do you reckon Ivan...
Dylan Edwards.
Do you reckon Ivan would be frustrated that he couldn't get his guys to New Zealand after Origin 2? Do you reckon that'd play a part in him probably wanting them to play even more?
I think with how early he said that they were out in Origin 2, and them missing, I also think it doesn't help how well they went in New Zealand without their stars. I wonder if he just thinks that he can do a job, give his 3 big guys a rest, or 4 big guys if you count Yo. And then, I think that they'll probably beat the Eels without him is the problem.
Yeah, you're probably right. Josh, you can have the floor for this last one, mate. You two boys actually still have this guy. I am petrified this week.
Still,
I had a boy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. For his 83, he's 72, and he's 95.
As one of my favourite SuperCoach content creators has always told me, every week, Matty, he opens up the NRL app, checks who the Titans are playing, and captains them. And I opened up my app and saw that I own one player that is playing against the Titans, and it's Reece Walsh. He's highlighted orange currently in my team.
I'm petrified as a non-owner this week.
Are you petrified because he's going to be on 17 at the 70th minute and end up on 104?
It's the hope that kills you. That's what it is. You look at it and you go, yeah, mad. Reece Walsh only on 12. And
mate, the week that I bought him when Mem came back and I wasn't watching, and I had Rugby League Realm, shout out to him, he messaged me, fucking C, F you, what a prick. And I was like, what's happened? And he's like, Walsh has ended up on 90. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, he was on 20.
Yeah. And he was on 20.
Actually.
He was on 30 seconds.
Yeah, he had that try assist, line break assist, the first one of the game in the first 2 minutes, and then literally stayed on 20 for a good 50 minutes. Did absolutely nothing. I was watching the game, and you asked me after the game, eye test wise, how did he look? And I'm like, terrible. He did nothing. He just had his hands on it. It was a full teapot behind the hooker passing the ball most plays, and he still peeled off 90. So a guy that can put him up. Titans concede the second most points to fullbacks, 7 tries, but they've also conceded 26 tries to wingers. And we know that Walsh is going to be the man throwing the cutout to Karapani and whoever's on the right. Is it Mariner this week? Who cares? Who cares who it is? They're going to score.
I don't think it is Mariner.
I think originally he got named on the wing, Mariner, because Cobbo's 18th man.
Yeah, okay.
Arthur's still on the extended bench from memory.
Oh, okay. But we expect Arthur's to be in, I think.
Was there Nigel last week? Didn't get named because he had some injury, a training or some shit. So, yeah, if it's him, they'll both score a bag, that's for sure. That'll do us, I reckon. Any final words from you two? I'm sure you want a little Queensland Maroons pump up again before we wrap up.
Oh.
Right. So this is the thing. We don't need to. Because we just get it. Why would we need to pump it up when we've won? I saw a stat that we've won 15 out of the last 20 series. Where's this New South Wales dynasty that we keep hearing?
It's not coming. It's done. No, it was last year.
If this wasn't the worst Queensland team named ever, I don't know what was. And
I think it's just. I think we can all finally agree that Robert Poyer and Garrett Shibasaki are just undoubtedly better than Stephen Crichton and LaShawn Mitchell. In the power rankings of NRL centres. Yep,
the stats say it. So we need to buy them both back.
Tom Dearden has been appointed Chief Daddy of New South Wales.
He was good.
Mate, so good.
He had the game of his life.
How big do you reckon Billy Slater's balls are this morning? Just dropping Ches, picking Dearden, winning.
Nah. After last night, they'd be empty. They wouldn't be fucking full. That's for sure. He would have had fun. Oh, Billy Slater. He deserves it. He made some really ballsy choices, and they ended up paying off. So, very well played.
I don't want to plug my own Instagram page, but I nearly made a post today that Gamut Shibasaki is the only player ever from the Green Rockets Tonkatsu to play Origin and win
And win.
Yeah, and win. So
Mattrix going to directly take on random stats guy on the internet for the best stats
did he say that?
Instagram
Did he?
page. No. I'm just saying that's something that he would say. But yeah, no, look, too good. Hopefully we'll be back next year to lose 2-1 again. Can't wait for that. Guys, that'll do us. If you want access to Buy, Hold, Sell, we've obviously put the video in detail there inside Patreon. The link's in the description below if you want to become a member. Only 8 more rounds left of NRL SuperCoach to go, so the run home begins. Hopefully we've helped here. Guys, if you want to support the pod, hit subscribe and like on the show. It does help us get it out to more people. If you're listening on audio, hit that follow button, leave us a 5-star review. We will be back to wrap up the week. That'll be Sunday evening around 8:30. Good luck this week. Hopefully some green arrows for you. We'll catch you then.
cheerio.